Well, hello there, motherfuckers. And I just got back from seeing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. This movie, for a Turtles fan, I don't know if people, become Turtles fans if they weren't before. I mean, it's a unique concept, but I think most people know the Ninja Turtles. So this is a movie that I think is mostly for fans. People who are going to appreciate this movie, they're mostly probably going to be fans. So, after seeing the first movie, seeing it like more than a year after its release, the first one, after a friend, told me that I should see it because it's not as bad as many people were making it out to be. And he was right. It's certainly not my, 1990 Jim Henson, man-made costume movie that I always talk about. But it was pretty good for what it was. The only thing about it is that the Turtles don't look the way how I want them to look. They don't look the way many other people want them to look. But, I've kind of grown accustomed, and, I've kind of even thought to myself, they don't really look that bad. Well, they don't look great. Let's be perfectly honest, but I guess it could be worse. At the time, I thought it was the worst it could possibly be, but I don't know. They've kind of grown on me, the look. They tried to kind of update their appearances to kind of match their personalities more. And then, kind of when I look at it and I try to be more positive about this movie, it kind of helped in a way. And, I kind of liked it more when I really, kind of looked at it from a different way. The Turtles act the way how they're really supposed to act. Raph is the toughest one. He's sarcastic. Mikey still acts like the party dude. Sorry. And Donnie, he still acts like the scientist, the brainy one. And Leonardo still acts like the fearless leader, the most serious one. The personalities are all down. I really don't have a problem with any of their voices. I think that, if we were going to have voices for the Turtles, these were the best voices to pick. But this movie gives way more fan service. Way more fan service. Spoiler alert here. We really don't get to see the Turtles fighting Shredder like they did in the first movie. Which is unfortunate, but I guess they didn't want to retread, on the same ground that they already covered. Krang in this movie, I think that they did a really good job of hiding what Krang looked like until you actually saw the movie. And my God, even though he is CGI'd up, I was mesmerized. And this is coming from, anybody who's watched this channel for years now knows that I'm not a big fan of CGI. And I was perfectly fine with the CGI, and I was perfectly fine with the CGI on Bebop and Rocksteady. I was so happy. And you know what I think it is? It's like, I don't know. I kind of see why some people might give this movie a bad review. If you just don't get the Turtles universe, you're just going to think this is a weird, oddball movie. And some people who are not Turtles fans yet, I think that maybe they should become, because when you see this universe, and, you see two guys becoming a rhinoceros and a warthog. You see a brain in a big robot suit stomach. How are you not going to be interested in wanting to explore that universe even further? And I think this movie did a great job of doing that. We got Baxter Stockman. I really think that they're going to bring him back as the Fly in the third movie. For anybody not familiar with this storyline, Baxter in the cartoon anyway becomes a fly. So the way how they were dragging Baxter away towards the end of this movie kind of makes me think that they're going to turn him into the Fly in the third movie. But anyway, I got to talk about, I was really happy with Krang. We get the Technodrome. It doesn't fully get built. The Turtles managed to suck it back into Dimension X, before it could be fully built. But we pretty much get to see the eyeball at the top, which was pretty fucking awesome. We only really get one shot of it before it gets sucked back in. But, I'm really hoping that maybe we could get more Dimension X shenanigans. That would be pretty fucking awesome. If they could show us an interpretation of how Dimension X looks like, expand on it, like in the movie. Just, I want to see the artistic direction of just what they think Dimension X should look like. That would be awesome to see. But yeah, Brad Garrett did a really good job voicing Krang. You guys don't understand. We waited so long to get a movie with Krang in it and Bebop and Rocksteady. It was rumored for the second movie that we were going to get Bebop and Rocksteady. I'm talking about the second movie, meaning Secret of the Ooze. We thought that we were going to get Bebop and Rocksteady, but we got Tolka and Razor for that one. But they were still good. But we always wanted Bebop and Rocksteady. We always wanted that twosome. And not only did we get Bebop and Rocksteady, but we got Krang. These were, especially when the third movie came out, of the original Turtles trilogy. Everybody, was so disappointed. They never got Krang. They never got Bebop and Rocksteady. And to now be here at 28 years old and finally getting to see Bebop and Roxy and Krang like done justice on the screen, and that's what I'm saying. I was pretty happy with it. It's like, and I had like, I don't know, pretty, somewhere in the middle for standards. I wouldn't say amazingly high, but I just wanted to see him. And I mean, Bebop and Roxy, if you're going to complain about the fart joke from Bebop and Roxy, I know there's going to be a ton of people complaining about the fart joke. There's like one fart joke in there, the jokes. I think that these movies really capture the humor of the show quite well. They really do. The silly moments that are corny and cheesy, if you're complaining about them being corny and cheesy, then you have no idea how the cartoon was. You probably never watched it before, because the cartoon was very corny and cheesy, and it somewhat prided itself on being corny and cheesy. Right from the start, the show was corny and cheesy, and that was part of its charm. So if you're gonna sit here and complain like I've seen many do about the first movie, yeah, it is a little corny and cheesy when it comes to the jokes, but like I said, that's all part of the charm. It wouldn't be Turtles, if it didn't have that type of humor. If it was going for cutting edge, smart humor, it wouldn't be the Turtles. And, well, I'd even take away points for that, actually. The same people were complaining that the jokes are corny and cheesy. Well, I would actually say that would make it a bad movie if it wasn't, because that's exactly what it should be. So, Casey Jones is, there's just so much fan service to be had in this film. And it's not just like, like Civil War or something, where here's some stuff from the comic book, but we're not going to even try to make a cohesive storyline. I know, once again, people are going to get really mad at that comparison. But this is a story that's just so simple. Krang uses Shredder to collect parts so he could open up the portal to the Dimension X, and he could bring his Technodrome through. And that's pretty much the story. Bebop and Rocksteady help him. They fight the Turtles, and, that's pretty much it. And I'm cool with that. It's Turtles. I don't need a fucking big, huge, fucking complicated storyline that's going to melt my brain. I was pretty happy with it. For a Turtles movie, like I said, this is still not going to... Believe it or not, nothing could surpass the 1990 movie for me with the Jim Henson suits. I'm sorry, it's just, that movie's just a work of art, and, as far as this goes, but this is a really fucking good movie. This is, this is great. This is like, anybody who grew up like me as a huge fan of the Turtles, and you get to see this stuff played out on the silver screen, you should be ecstatic. Maybe it's not the way you envision it, but this is pretty much how it is. It's not going to be exactly like the cartoon, but, Bebop and Rocksteady look pretty much like how they do in the cartoon. And Krang, well, the android suit might not look the same. Krang looks pretty fucking Krangish to me. So I was pretty happy with this movie. I'm not, it's kind of too early to really see everybody else's consensus on the film, but like I said, coming from a huge Turtles fan, like I said, I was so hyped up for this film. I couldn't help myself buying the cartoon set. And you guys have seen, years ago I bought the big movie collection when it came out, the big fancy one with the sewer case and all that, all the way back in 2009. So, I'm a massive Turtles fan. If something comes out Turtles, I immediately take notice. And, I'm pretty happy. Like I said, I'm not really thrilled at how the Turtles look in the movie. But, after having more than 2 years to get over it, I've kind of gotten over it already, and I'm kind of willing to accept it for what it is. So, we got a sequel in less than 2 years, and I'm fine with that. This, that seems kind of quick for a sequel, but this does not look like a rush job to me. This feels like a pretty complete Turtles film. It's not that long. The movie is less than 2 hours, which is fucking fantastic. I mean, that's one thing. Just like the first Turtles movie, get in what you need to do and just get out. There's a lot of laughs. There's a lot of good action. There's plenty of fan service and new characters to get excited about. So, hey guys, I definitely recommend this movie. If you're a huge Turtle fan, it goes without saying you're probably not even gonna be listening to this review. You're probably already seeing the movie. If you're skeptical about the movie, and you're still the same way that I used to be, where, I'm not sure the Turtles don't look that good, I'd say go see it. You can get past the way how the Turtles look because you'll just be having a good time. This movie is just a really good time. It's a lot of fun, and I think half the time you won't even be worried about how they look. Even though you're looking at them through the whole movie, just, bear with me. I think you really will enjoy it. For everybody else who's not too crazy about the Turtles, you might be interested in what this movie has to offer. It is a lot different than the first movie. There's way more characters. There's many characters in this film. There's so many different types of characters, and the CGI looks pretty good. For me, anyway. Not saying that every scene looks so realistic. There's times when Bebop and Rocksteady look pretty damn synthetic, because, that's what they are. But, like I said, I am just happy to see them on screen in the somewhat presentable form. I shouldn't say somewhat. They look pretty fucking good. I'm pretty happy with the way how they look and the way how they interact on screen. And Krang, for the most part, that completely stole the show. Completely stole the show, the way how they made Krang look. They took a lot of care with the designs of these characters. I really would like to see some animatronics on Krang and stuff, but, that's kind of wishful thinking in this day and age. You really don't get too many animatronics anymore, that type of style. So anyway, pretty happy with the movie, and yeah, guys, if I could think of anything else to say about the film, I'll do another review, but for now, this pretty much sums up how I feel about the film. It's really good. I'd give it like an 8 out of 10, an 8.5 out of 10 even. I don't know. Some people are being really rough on the film. I don't really think they understand what these Turtle movies are supposed to be about. Even the movies, Secret of the Ooze and the one that came out in 1990, the first one, even those movies didn't even get great reviews. I remember like Roger Ebert giving it 2 stars. So, basically, these are movies made for fans. They will bring in other people, but, let's face it. This is a movie made for fans or the kids already watching the Nickelodeon show. So, it brings Turtle fans from all generations to come together and enjoy this movie. That's all I got, guys. See you next time.